Good to see you, Miss Johnson.
Oh, call me Judy, please. And thank you for making time for this interview. I hope I wasn't too coercive on the phone.
Not at all, not at all. You just sounded like a reporter whose heart was bent on an interview.
I was tired and I snarled, but that's a nice thing for you to say. Well, I like this room. I didn't really get a good look at it during the press conference.
Yeah, well, this is where it all began. My best friend and I went into hock, scraping up the first few months' rent for it.
Oh, how long ago was that?
3 years,
Seems more like 10.
at least. Where shall we do this? Over here, over there?
Well, I always opt for the most comfortable spot I can find. I'll just put the tape recorder between us, and you keep talking in your normal voice.
Is it on already?
Mm-hmm.
Do you always start interviews so casually?
People are more relaxed when they forget about the machine. We'll just sit and talk.
That sounds easy enough.
It will be, I promise. Now, tell me about you and Riverside. Did you grow up here?
Mrs. Woodard, I asked about the coffee. Will you and Mrs. Longworth have coffee here or in the dining room?
Oh, doesn't matter. I'll wait till Polly gets here. Oh, I'll get them. Thank you. Oh, please, put them in that envelope. I promised Mrs. Ryan I'd be very careful with them.
They're nice.
Yeah, well, they might be useful. For publicity, magazine spreads, things like that. Judy is with him right now.
Pardon me?
Nothing. It's perfectly legitimate. Why not? When Mrs. Longworth gets here, tell her to make herself comfortable. I'm going to go over to Mr. Ryan's office. He's giving an interview, and these pictures might be useful.
Would you like me to deliver them?
No, thank you. I'll just check on things myself.
Call now.
Hi, Kevin. How's it going?
Oh, fair enough, Jack. How's everybody down at Weehawken Street?
Asleep, if you can believe it. Mary came in from the show and right to bed. Ryan was so tired she barely got through her bath. Naturally, I'm wide awake.
Ah, that calls for a little shot. There we are.
I keep thinking about Tom.
Ah, that poor lad. He doesn't deserve all those troubles he's had, you know. And I miss him.
He spent a lot of evenings here, hasn't he? What kind of a drinker is he?
Oh, moderate. That lad never had any difficulty finding his way home, I can tell you.
But when he's had a few too many, I mean, how's he handle it?
Oh, Jack. What we talking about?
Tom Desmond.
How do you think that Tom handled the drink, John?
Like a gentleman. What kind of question is that?
An important one, I think. I saw Tom this afternoon. Now, my friend at immigration cannot help, so I decided to go by Tom's, give him the bad news in person. He'd obviously had a couple before I got there, and he kept belting them down while we talked. In his shoes, I'd probably do the same, but he's not an easy guy to deal with when he's been drinking.
How do you mean?
Anger, like he could turn on you real quick if he were pushed.
Well, listen, the mess he's in, he's every right to be angry. I don't get what you're driving at.
I think there's a side to Tom that none of us knows, not even Faith, which makes me worry all that much more about the crazy notion that she ought to marry him.
Well, there are lots of better ways for staying in the country, Jack, but it's not crazy. It was Mary's idea.
And one of her lesser inspirations.
Says the wise old man. Ah,
Johnny, you didn't hear him this afternoon. You didn't see the look in his eye before he passed out on the couch.
The look in his eye. You're trying to tell me about problem drinkers? Hey, look. I can tell when a man walks in through that door whether he's going to turn out to be the sort of guy who'll get roaring drunk and break up the furniture. I can smell that kind of a man. And Tom is not one of them. And listen, mister, I've seen you in your cups, and you're no rose.
Now,
if I have any idea of a man who...
Isn't it possible that Tom is not well enough to tolerate the drink?
Of course, the man's still convalescing. He's still on medication. His system probably can't even tolerate any alcohol.
Well, then the next question is, what's he doing to himself? Maybe his judgment isn't all it should be right now, and if that's the case, shouldn't faith be warned?
You know, you have the weirdest way of looking at things. You turn any party into a wake.
Maybe good old Dash should have been a writer. Turns a phrase so nicely. You know, maybe you have hidden talent.
Well, I'll tell you what I do have, and what every member of this family has, and that is a positive attitude about life. Is that all sweetness and light? No, there's a lot of bad mixed with the good, but at least we look to find the bad. And we look to find the good, and when the good is there, we fight to nurture it, to help it grow. Now, you don't understand that, Jack, because you're always poking and poking and poking till you find the trouble, and then you can't see anything else but trouble.
Haven't you ever sometimes wondered how your daughter and your granddaughter could love me, and so much?
Hello?
Hi there, sweetheart. You on your way home?
No, unfortunately. Just a break. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Faith.
What are you doing out at this hour?
I ran away from home.
Oh.
God forbid the man should say a kind word.
Do I dare ask what this is about?
Ask Johnny, he's the boss.
No, it's nothing, really. It's just Mr. Fernelli dumping on the whole world, as usual.
It's obvious the voters in your district think highly of you. They sent you back to the city council with a terrific plurality in November. But what about your fellow politicians?
Which party?
Yours. I really mean the city councilman you're hoping to leave behind. What is their reaction to Frank Ryan making a bid for the Senate?
Well, some showed a great deal of enthusiasm the minute they heard. Others haven't said much. And there are a few who appear to consider it an outrage.
Who are those few?
Well, for the record, I prefer to let them remain nameless.
Is, off the record, is Lester Martin one of the bandwagon people?
Now, Judy, you know the answer to that already. I can tell by the gleam in your eye.
Let me read you a quote. Ryan's a decent youngster. I like him, but I must abhor the rampant ambition that drives a man to seek high office for which he is clearly unqualified. Mr. Ryan would do well to look to his seniors. It is from that pool that the finest senatorial candidate can and must be chosen.
I didn't realize that.
What?
That Lester likes me so much.
What do you think about the point he's making?
What, that I'm dangerously ambitious? Well, let me say this about that. Reports to the effect that I will kill to win are categorically untrue. I may injure a little bit, but that's as far as it goes. Dangerous, hell, all I am is a little scary.
I wish I could print that.
No, I'm sorry. Those were for your ears only.
Please?
No, I'm sorry. Now, look, we are here to work, not to fool around. So if you'll turn that thing back on again, I'll try to become serious. It is. It's a giant step from city to national politics. But after careful consideration, and after seeking the advice of widely respected party leaders, I am confident that I am ready and that I can win.
One last question. Can you tell me something about your goals, personally and for the state of New York? I know that's a sticky one.
In my family, we were taught to count all kinds of blessings. One of the first things that I was grateful to this city for was Riverside Park. After that, it was the public library, the public transportation system, all the services that helped me. Suppose I was into government long before I ever knew what the word meant. I've been a community leader, a cop, a lawyer, a politician, a councilman. I have learned some hard lessons about how this system works and how it doesn't work. And there are as many tragedies as there are blessings. Child health care comes to mind. Illiterate high school graduates, unemployed veterans. There are people all over this state who need and deserve services that they are not getting. That is why I am going to go to the Senate.
That was terrific.
Thank you. You're very easy to talk to.
Thank you. I'd like to do more of this. How do you feel about a magazine spread?
I'd love it.
Well, I have a little freelance time right now. You, your family, your neighborhood, it's all perfect story material. Of course, you'll have to put up with me tagging after you for a few days.
Can't think of anything I'd enjoy better.
What about Mrs. Woodard? You think she'd okay it?
Oh, of course. She'll be thrilled.
Kidnap.
There are over
Holiday.
Call 800-656-HOPE.
Okay, who'd you dump on, Jack?
Never mind.
No, tell. If it's somebody I'd like to dump on, we could be hostile together.
I wasn't being hostile. I was just worrying.
About?
Your friend, Tom.
Oh. You haven't already spoken to your friend from immigration? Not even a few days?
Not at this stage. It's like Frank said. You can postpone deportation, but once an alien gets that first letter, he's got to reply. Now, Tom either has to show up at the preliminary hearing or go underground.
Oh, he can't do that again.
I'll tell you something. With the Donahues and the government after him, he'll be running the rest of his life.
I've been giving a lot of serious thought to Mary's suggestion.
Yeah, I was worrying about that, too.
Marriage.
Either he marries and stays here legally, or he's hunted for the rest of his life. And killed if the Donahues find him. Honestly, what other choice do we have?
You have a
see
choice.
you haven't.
Look, I know that you want to bail him out. But I learned the hard way that you don't get married unless and until you really need to spend the rest of your life with that one particular person.
You sound just like Maeve.
No, he doesn't. He sounds like a Sunday school.
Johnny, what I meant is that Maeve said more or less the same thing this afternoon. And part of it's true. American citizenship is a terrible reason to get married. But staying alive isn't so bad. Plus the fact we do love each other. Tom is more sure than I am, yes, but I do love him. And you have to admit that our situation is pretty unusual. The standard rules just can't apply. The more I think about all this, the only guidelines that make sense are honesty and caring.
How much do you really know Tom? You ever have a fight? Disagreement even?
No. We went from a lovely romantic stage to a life and death crisis. We skipped everything that should be in the middle. No, we need time. I know we do. But the immigration gave Tom 10 days, and 5 of those are already gone.
Half your break's already gone. You haven't had your coffee. Look, how about a couple of cookies with him or a piece of cheesecake or something?
No, just coffee.
Listen, I saw Tom today. He was drinking, and the way it affected him, it made me nervous.
Is he all right?
Oh, he's fine. He's probably sleeping it off now, but wasn't the Tom Desmond that I know. Now, there was a lot of anger there.
Oh, I should call him.
Faith, he's fine. I'm not worried about tonight. What I'm worried about is next month, next year, the next time he's feeling miserable. If you're married to him, then you could be on the receiving end of I don't know what. All I know is I didn't want to tangle with him this afternoon, and you locked into that kind of a situation. It's a little bit frightening.
That's a lot of malarkey.
But you close your eyes. But I have to be straight with Faith,
Well, then
all
why
right?
don't you be straight with her?
Meaning?
Meaning you don't like Tom from the last movie Mary was seeing.
You don't
regularly.
know what's inside my head. I do. Okay. Okay, I didn't like Tom, but I learned to like him. And I can understand why Mary was attracted to him.
I better get that.
I hope he never gets off. About Tom.
Yes, you like him.
And I'm grateful to him for all that he did to help Mary and me get back together. Now, he's not necessarily wrong for you. I'm not saying that.
Well, are you saying that Tom has a drinking problem?
No. No. I'm just saying that I sense he has a very tight rein on himself,
Well, you're right about that. Tom has a lot of controls.
which covers up a lot of feelings, especially anger.
Yes.
Repressed rage. Now, doesn't that scare you a little?
I can't imagine myself being afraid of Tom. Love would be the problem in this marriage, Jack, not fear.
Ever been around him when he was drinking?
Yes. Well, it was after your wedding, as a matter of fact. I walked him home and put him to bed. I mean, he wasn't entirely cheerful, no. He recited sad poetry. So I tucked him in and he went to sleep, and that was that. Why? How was he acting this afternoon?
Depressed, upset, chip on his shoulder?
Irrational? Was he violent?
And there was something just beneath the surface. It reminded me of a guy that I once worked with on the
Get off the docks, for heaven's sake, will you? Yes. That's right.
Maybe I'm just overreacting, huh?
No, you're protective and concerned. And that's very nice.
And now I'll shut up.
No, Jack, I need to talk to the people that will give me an honest opinion. I laid it out for my brother and sister this morning. Jill nearly exploded. But I wanted her point of view, and I want yours.
What are you going to do?
I'm leaning toward marriage.
You'll have to talk Tom into it.
I know it. My first try wasn't very successful. All I'm up to right now is heading back to work and putting everything else out of my mind.
That's smart. I'll walk over with you.
Oh, thank you.
Give my daughter-in-law time to cool off.
Steve, my flirt clinically.
I'll call a couple of editors to set up an official assignment for myself, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Great. In the meantime, I'll check out next week, see if there's anything exciting on the agenda.
Well, don't make any special plans. It'll be fun, just following you around.
I hope so.
I'm really going to enjoy this.
I know I will. Good night.
Well, that was fast.
Hi, love. Sorry I kept you waiting. Can you give me another minute or two?
Take a whole month.
Thank you. Hi, Ed. It's Ray Woodard. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it isn't a dead issue, but that's not why I'm calling. I want Judy Johnson transferred to the Washington Bureau. I think as a bureau chief. I know exactly what I'm doing. She doesn't have to be fully qualified. She's bright, she's one of the most aggressive reporters we have, and she can learn on the job. Well, I don't care what she's into. She's to drop everything and go to Washington. I know it is an enormous promotion, and I expect her to be damn grateful. Look, Ed, I really don't have time to talk to you now. I'm entertaining. Well, you make it happen. Immediately, on my order. That's right. Night, Ed. drink?
I think, what's-her-face is out in the kitchen getting some coffee.
How about a drink?
I'd love one.
Good.
How is Frank?
Frank?
Well, weren't you just at his office?
Yeah, I was. We didn't talk much. Here you go.
Well, these pictures are fascinating.
Aren't they?
I particularly love this one on the beach. I don't suppose there's a way you could blow it up and make a campaign poster out of it?
Well, I might be able to arrange for one to go over your bed.
One for you too, dear. All right, what's happened?
Nothing.
Who's Ed?
Ooh, he hires and fires to the paper. Nice man.
He transfers people too? I'm sorry. You don't want to talk about Judy Johnson. Okay. Instead, shall we discuss my patron list for the Ballet Guild? I brought everything with me.
Judy Johnson was one of Bill's favorite employees. She's not one of mine. The lady tends to mix business with pleasure unless she's busy. Purpose of sending her to Washington is to keep her very, very busy indeed.
Well, that's quite a step up for Miss Johnson. Does she know about it yet?
No, but she will tomorrow morning. And she should be eternally grateful to me. Which does make things so much more pleasant all around.
Get your popcorn ready for the Sunday night movie on SoapNet. We have the stars you want to snuggle up to. Brad Pitt, Liam Neeson, Nicolas Cage, and so many more. The Sunday night movie, Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on SoapNet.